I initially wanted to wait a day or two before covering this story in case V soon-to-be without Vshojo would respond to the situation, but thanks to life keeping me from being online, I could take an extra day so that I could witness everything just falling apart. But I'm getting ahead of myself. How's it going, folks? Jack here, and welcome to the Chill Zone. Or if you're new to the channel, welcome back to the Chill Zone. I have stated in the past that VTubing was, and to a degree still is, hard for me to get behind. I said that well aware that it is not much different from me listening to the excellent reviewers who use an avatar of, I don't know, weapons dealer,
Buenos días, amigos,
a frogman, or an anthropomorphized and sexualized green blob. Yeah, I know, that one is very specific. But even while being an anime fan, I always have to shut that part of my brain that looks solely at the rig, so to focus on the voices. No, generally, the voices of the people, or at times AI, that deliver genuine good entertainment. And amongst the many people doing this has been one that I actually really like, named Ironmouse. Last year, I shared some thoughts on a video Connor Sido VA made about her and the treatment that she had faced online. Granted, being a social media figure comes with its own scrutinies, and one's conduct can amplify how each and every creator is received by the wider internet. I just thought about a specific person right now, apologies. But if you don't know Ironmouse, she's a singer and Twitch streamer who debuted in 2017. She's known for her very energetic personality and her following on Twitch, of course, where she became the most subscribed streamer for a period in 2024 before Kai Cenat did the thing. She achieved all this while suffering from CVID, which is not short for COVID, or its long variant, which is plaguing some of my other favorite YouTubers. But it stands for Common Variable Immune Deficiency, a disorder that requires her to be mostly confined to her home, at times her bed, and use oxygen support. She has actively used her platform to raise awareness and fund for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which supports individuals with immune disorders. So that alone is very commendable. She's sick, but also sick, but with the help of fellow streamer Connor, they have raised millions in charity. So naturally, when you know the tale as old as time, as someone is trying to do some good, there'll be somebody else trying to screw them over, especially financially, because the studio she's affiliated with had some financial discrepancy to her pay, including $500,000 in unpaid donations. This is at least the key points of Ironmouse's latest video, as she announced her departure from Vshojo, stating that she was misled over the past few months. She believes that she is owed a significant amount of funds that have not been paid, and of course the donations being withheld.
Because of the success of my first subathon, I decided to donate half the earnings of my following 2 subathons to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. The first time I tried this, it worked great. Over 200,000 people supported me, and because of that, we raised over $329,350 to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Because the money came from my Twitch revenue instead of a Tiltify link, it required Vshojo to make the donation on my behalf. They promptly sent the payment, and the subathon was a huge success, so I decided to do it again the next year. My last subathon was one of the biggest events I've ever done. The support was overwhelming, and I ended up getting over 300,000 subscribers and breaking the all-time sub record. But this also meant that we had raised $515,000 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I once again asked Vshojo to make the donation on my behalf, but unfortunately, still a year later, Vshojo has not paid the charity.
This sounds familiar, we've heard of people withholding donations in the past, right? And stuff from charity, but now again, I'm not always sure with this side of the internet, VTubing that is. So it was to my great surprise that while checking some of the comments from that previous Ironmouse video that I put out some time ago, that I learned that VTuber agencies are, Well, the bane of VTubers, with one egregious example in the likes of Niji Sanji, who I learned had a terrible history of termination of their talents, making creators apologize on their behalf, trying to apologize themselves in wacky, weird ways, drama that felt like watching a full-blown episode of Jubilee, somehow worse, and just shooting themselves in the foot time and time again. Now, I'm not going to be blaming the company solely for the complete insanity that some of their creators did display, but they've done some things that have been pretty bad, even led to a creator taking their own life. But with an example like that, this couldn't possibly be happening again for another company, right? Like, you know that's exactly what happened. Ironmouse expressed her desire to share the full story of what was transpiring in the background, but
I really want to tell you everything, but unfortunately right now, I have been instructed by my attorney to wait for more of the legal procedure to unfold.
But this stuff seemingly becoming like common behavior for some of this company might be the reason why some have started to leave them in droves. What is annoying is that Mouse, already given her condition, like I'm not trying to minimize her capability at all, but like just being considered here, was also feeling pressure to join Vshojo. Ironmouse felt like she was being stressed to sign with them, she felt guilt-tripped into it, she felt responsible for the staff and the talents and believed that not staying there would kind of hurt everybody.
And I was always told that I was needed in order for the company to succeed. Although that was very positive to hear, it put a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on me to the point where I felt guilt-tripped into signing. I felt responsible for everybody. I felt responsible for staff and talent alike.
Because these companies essentially work like old school YouTube. Think of agencies like Machinima. I know it's a crude example, but you kind of get the point. Vshojo handling her payment and a lot of other things was, to begin with, somewhat of a blessing for her, as it meant that she didn't have to give out personal information, which was of course a major privacy concern for her and a bunch of other VTubers. However, and also kind of creepy, her decision to start managing her own finances led to the discovery of this issue, which is pretty wild. But like this kind of had to happen because of her charity effort and the Immune Deficiency Foundation, for which I've seen a joke about that, okay? Do not shorten certain company names. Like back in the days up here in the north, we used to have these like candy and also ice cream company. Like they were producing like low sugar snacks, a company called Ices, which after the thing came, right, the terror organization, they kind of needed to change the name into ECs, which sounded stupid, but like stupid sideline. She has reported that she and Connor have raised approximately 4 million for the Deficiency Foundation through various events. There's been those cyclothons that Connor has been doing, the charity auction as well, and like, I've tried to tune in to some of the subathons especially, and perhaps one day my narcoleptic ass is going to be enjoying them in the sofa there while I'm trying to stay awake, but they are pretty freaking sick. They've genuinely been putting a lot of work into it, so having a company like this pulling something so scummy very much sucks. Which of course brings us back to the paracapitalism of the mini-corpo that is Vshojo. Get it? Because it hinges on parasocialism and capital. Fuck. Because this company is split in like two parts. There is a Japanese and an English side, and they've been facing so much backlash. For example, the Japanese CEO claimed that they were doing just fine, only for creators and musicians like Starlight Daryl to chime in and be like, "Where's my money?" And as he was being confronted by yet another one by the name of K-Son, the man kind of backpedaled a little bit, tried to pull like a Satoru Iwata claiming to take a pay cut, only for her like to quit on the spot. And of course on the English side, which aforementioned talent had been leaving for some time now, that was just the last straw that broke the camel's back. Vshojo themselves, I don't think, have exactly issued an actual apology. They're kind of like circling around that. They're not actually diving into the main issue. They shut down the merch store, but they did one thing that is pretty freaking scummy. allegedly here, because there is allegedly a person of a noted VTuber company doxing creators, kind of undoing that thing that, you know, the likes of Ironmouse enjoy about the company to begin with, being privacy. It's almost like I'm not doing a Sniper Wolf joke, I was so close here. But there is some good news to this story though. That parasocial aspect and genuine appreciation that people have for Mouse and similar content creators like her has resulted in an absolute insane turn of events, as fans have now raised more money to the Immune Deficiency Foundation within like 24 hours. Mouse has set a goal of like 10,000 for possible donation, and now it has reached over $1 million. Impressive. I cannot imagine the position that Vshojo is finding themselves in right now, as they discovered that one does not simply fuck with the mouse unless one is willing to face his wrath, and this time of course it's more like the rabbit fandom.
I'll fucking do it again.
Also, this isn't like an isolated incident. If I remember correctly, Gura, the other very famous VTuber, is somebody that I surprisingly have stumbled upon quite a few times, especially in Warhammer works. Like, she's been depicted as like a Carcharodon? It's like a Space Marine chapter of like Sharkman. What? That's what they are. She quit Hololive recently, didn't she? So like, the VTubing world is like doing great. Overall, I think I kind of understand the struggle that comes along with being a content creator and having to put yourself out there. And especially when you don't have that ample amount of resources, a talent in or VTubing company like this one can be, for a lack of word, godsend, because they can provide you for a hell of a lot of stuff. There are also like artists who are included in there, the services that come along with it, that can feel very beneficial. But then you find out that said godsend thing is in fact the devil and not even the hot kind, and then you're just in the shit. So I wish anybody who's now threading the path of independence well, and good luck. So in closing, with what concerns Ironmouse, she is now also just an independent VTuber, and I hope that she's gonna do well. I think she is. It can't get worse from here. Also, as a nice little tidbit for that video she posted a couple of days ago that had the link for the donations, she put it out that every single penny that she's gonna earn from that video will go to the foundation as well. So if you could do her a solid one, if you have the time, and go and watch that video, that will help her quite a lot. So that has been my take on this situation. Hope you liked the video. Wish you all to have a wonderful day. Stay chillin', and I see you guys in the next one. Bye.